Hi everybody, welcome to Heel Heat. This is our Wrestlemania review show. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner, Sika.
Gary Rhodes, everybody.
We'll go right into it. As we review this, we're going to tell you, if you watched our preview show, which a lot of you did actually, we made our predictions and we'll tell you what we got right and what we got wrong. Now the first one, the pregame show, Miz vs. Wade Barrett. I got this one right, Gary got it wrong. I thought the best part was the fact that he got the reverse he did into the figure four. He finally did the figure four right, and he did it in a way that's not been seen before.
I have to totally agree with you. I'm not a big giant fan of the Miz push, as are you, but it made sense for Mania to have him go over. If they're going to try to push for the movie and everything like that, he's got it out.
Now the first match of our actual show was Sheamus, Orton, and the Big Show versus Shield. We both got this one correct. We picked the Shield to win. My reasoning was wrong. I said that Show was going to turn, or no, Orton was going to turn. When technically Show turned, although Show never turned face. So really nobody turned. I like what JBL said last night on Raw about it, saying that he hit him after the match. How's that turning on his team?
Exactly. Our next match was Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, versus Ryback.
We were both dead wrong on this.
I know it was, which was kind of cool. I'm a Mark Henry fan. I'm not as big on Ryback as a lot of people are. I mean, he don't bother me, but yeah. I'm glad to see Mark get over at Mania. So I mean, I was wrong, but I'm kind of glad I was wrong.
I'm kind of surprised that Ryback is racking up as many losses as he is in these pay-per-views. I mean, for a guy that was barreling into the world title picture, he's losing more often than he's winning.
True.
Now, going right into that, the first time they teamed up, we had Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston versus Team Hell No. We were both wrong on this again.
Yeah.
We expect at some point Hell No is going to be broken up and go their single ways. I get it for the show. I mean, at this point in the show, two heels already won, so it was time for a face to win again.
And you know, as over as D. Bryan is, it's better that he won now, because that 17 or 18 second loss he had last year against Sheamus, really, it didn't hurt him none. I don't think. I think it really didn't bother him at all.
I think it helped him.
I do too, because I mean, we were at WrestleMania last year, and dude was more over than anybody else. I think he got a bigger pop than The Rock, if that's possible. But you know, in a way, I'm still glad I was wrong on this one too, though, because I do like D. Bryan and I do like Kane, and I like to see Kane get some W's at WrestleMania.
There you go. Now, next up, we had the debuting Fandango.
Fandango
versus Chris Jericho.
One of my favorites.
Gary was right. I was wrong. I expected Jericho to win and Fandango to do something after the match. But Jericho put the kid over.
He did. And you know, I was disappointed. It wasn't the greatest match.
Well, the match was good up until the ending, where Fandango was too close for the lion salt.
Yeah.
And Jericho totally missed, and that I think that blew the ending, which kind of blows your whole opinion of the match.
But, you know, you take a guy, it's his first nationally televised match, and it's on WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all. So there's going to be some butterflies, and there's going to be some hiccups, so you can't really blame the guy. His entrance was awesome, with all the dancers and stuff. You know, I thought it was a good debut for, you know, a guy
like Jericho's entrance with the fireworks and everything.
Oh, I liked all of it. I mean, dude, it's Chris Jericho. There's nothing bad about Chris Jericho.
There you go.
And the thing is about Jericho, he's not afraid to let somebody get over it.
Now, speaking of fireworks and spectacle, our next thing we had P. Diddy came out and performed. Now, I know some people, you know, they complain about stuff like this being on WrestleMania. I'm not the hugest P. Diddy fan, and I know you're not either. But I do like some of his stuff, and he went out there and he performed, and
he didn't mail it in. That's what I liked about it.
I can't say it was bad. I didn't lose my interest while he was performing. I was into what he was doing. I liked it. I'm sorry if I'm the only one who did, but
I enjoyed it myself too. The thing is, we were there for Machine Gun Kelly last year, and they were booing this guy out of the stadium.
Yeah.
And this guy is under Diddy's label. But Diddy did a great show, man. There's no way you could trash talk that much.
I thought it was nice. It gave some local flavor. He's a New York guy. He's a safe guy. I mean, he's a pop-friendly guy. Plus, it gave you a nice little break in between, and which led us into the next set of 4 matches, which were basically the 4 main matches and the 4 serious matches of the show.
Yeah. We're going first with the world title match. Jack Swagger challenging Alberto Del Rio for the world heavyweight title.
And we were both wrong on this.
Both dead
both
wrong.
picked Swagger.
I thought it was an excellent match, though.
Yeah,
It wasn't mailed in either.
I thought it was real good. I think they had some time constraints on it. You could tell when they cut Swagger's entrance out to run a video package, which they ran like crazy on the show. I thought the match was really good. I think these two got a good chemistry. I'd be interested to see this feud continue on.
I heard on the internet today that's dead. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Speaking of dead, how about the dead man? The Undertaker. Is he 20-0 or 20-1 or 21-0? Is he after he faced CM Punk?
No, he's 21-0 and we're both wrong.
But hell of a match.
Oh, it was definitely the match of the night, by far.
Nothing touched this match. I did like the spot where after CM Punk hit the GTS, Taker bounces off the ropes, grabs him, and hits him with a tombstone.
Yes.
And the emotion,
I think the best spot of the night is when Punk has him in the Anaconda Vice and Taker sits up in the Anaconda Vice.
Yeah.
And looks at him in the eyes.
Of a night that didn't have a lot of WrestleMania moments, I think that you just picked the WrestleMania moment for this WrestleMania.
That and the macho elbow to the outside where the table didn't break.
But one of the best WrestleMania matches I've seen in a long time.
The one thing I gotta say about CM Punk is the little touches, like him coming out in basically the old school Undertaker colors with that gray and the purple and everything to it. I thought it was amazing. We have 2 of the best talents in the business, and they did not disappoint.
Now, speaking of the 2 of the best talents in the business, I'm going to go to Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. No holds barred. Triple H loses. He has to pretty much leave the company, because I thought it was a retirement match. I was going to go with Brock if it was just to retire from wrestling, but if it was since it was leave the company pretty much, I went with Triple H.
And we're both correct on this one.
Exactly.
I thought it was a decent match. I personally liked their SummerSlam match better than this one.
I like this one better than SummerSlam, just for the extra little bit that Shawn Michaels added to it. Just that little bit of interference and that little bit that gave Heyman his spot.
I will say, if Brock Lesnar got a concussion early in the match, which is what's being reported, he pulled off a good match for being pretty much out of it most of the match.
Yeah, kind of like when Taker and Stone Cold went at it. Was it Survivor Series '98?
Or like when Foley in
SummerSlam '98.
Foley in Hell in a Cell, after the first drop, he didn't remember anything.
Yeah. And that's what Brock Lesnar might be, one of the biggest assholes in the world, whatever. But you cannot knock the man's in-ring ability.
There you go.
And the man puts asses in the seats. He might hate people, but people love to see Brock. And it was a great match. I thought it was a great match. I liked it better than the SummerSlam match.
Now our next match of the night is John Cena versus The Rock
For the WWE Championship.
Wasn't it once in a lifetime?
Well, I believe they were wrong, because I think it's twice in a lifetime, and hopefully we're done with it.
No, you know there's going to be a third because they're even now.
Well, no, because the word is he's going to go for Taker for the streak next year. Anyway, Cena wins the title.
Both of us are right.
I like this match better than last year's match. Like you said it yourself when we were watching it, because we were out there watching. We were at last year's WrestleMania. I don't know if we mentioned it before or not. But anyways.
You've mentioned it like 7 times.
Well, screw it. We were at last year's WrestleMania. Anyways, if you look at the size that Rock was then, he was about 15 pounds of mass heavier. So I think the weight that he's got cut off for the match, he was in wrestling shape. And I think it was a better wrestling match.
I'm going to disagree.
Mm.
Last year, Rock got winded, and that made it a bad match. This year, they just kept doing the same moves over and over again. Cena did that thing where he goes up with a back and he spins him.
Yeah.
That's somewhat suplex move.
Yeah.
They both went for their finishers about 4 or 5 times each. They both went for the people's elbow, the 5-knuckle shuffle. To me, neither one of their repertoire was diverse enough to make this a great match. We see something like, even the match before this, Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. They changed it up. They switched up the pace. Everything, Triple H was going for the Kimura instead of Brock.
Well,
Punk versus Taker, they pull out all the stops on that one. They're going, Punk does old school. I mean, they added to it. Swagger and Alberto Del Rio, Swagger was, the psychology he was using was 10 times better than either one of these two psychology in this match.
well, like I said, I wasn't saying it was the best match tonight. I was saying it was better than last year's Mania match. Just because he just seemed winded. Like I said, he was winded the whole time. It was.
Well,
like
that was last year. He was winded and worse, though.
I don't know. Like I said, right now, to me, still the Punk Taker match is the #1 match of the night.
I'm agreeing with that part.
What would you say was the second best match? Since we both agreed on that one, let's see what you would go for the second best.
I'm going to go the 6-man open the show. Sheamus, Orton, and Show versus Shield. I really enjoyed that. Henry versus Ryback was better than I thought it would be.
That's what we were both talking about, because I remember we were saying they were doing it in house shows, and it was shit in house shows.
Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio was about what I expected. The final 2 matches I was a little bit disappointed with. So, I mean...
So what would you give WrestleMania?
Out of 5, I'd probably give it a 3. It's not the worst WrestleMania, and it's probably... The one in Atlanta 2 years ago was worse than this, the one where Miz and Cena was the main event. But it's not the best WrestleMania either. I thought if this was a SummerSlam, it would have been excellent, but it's WrestleMania, and it didn't feel like a WrestleMania.
That's what I was getting to. This did not feel like a WrestleMania, and I'm going to give it a 2. There's a few shining graces in it, but other than that, I'm really disappointed. I was disappointed from the build-up since Royal Rumble, and that's all I've ever talked about through the whole shows. So, like I said, I'm giving this one 2. It wasn't the worst. Atlanta was worse, but that was a 1.
Well, it's one of the worst. They're still worse in Atlanta, but that's the worst.
Modern day, But anyways, I'm giving it a 2.
All right. Well, basically, that's all I got to say. Is there anything else you need to add?
That's it, my friend.
My name is George Coles.
I'm Gary Rhodes.
And this has been a Heel Heat Review.